Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Or should I say, welcome to your journey to becoming a small group champion. We're going to be talking about teaching, but not just any kind of teaching. We're diving deep into the wonderful world of small group instruction. Now, if you've ever felt like you're juggling flaming bowling pins while riding a unicycle on a tightrope when trying to teach small groups, well, first of all, ouch, and second of all, you're not alone. But don't worry, that's why we're here. This video is your one-stop shop for all the best strategies to make small group instruction not only manageable, but actually, dare I say it, enjoyable. So buckle up, grab your teacher hats, and let's get this learning party started. Okay, first things first. We gotta talk about goals. And no, I'm not talking about scoring the winning touchdown in the Super Bowl of teaching, although that does sound pretty great. I'm talking about setting clear, concise, and achievable objectives for each of your small groups. Think of it like this. If you're going on a road trip, you wouldn't just hop in the car and start driving without knowing where you're going, right? You need a destination. The same goes for teaching. Your objectives are your destination, and your students are your trusty co-pilots. Having clear objectives helps you stay focused, keeps your students on track, and makes it easier to measure progress. Plus, when you know exactly what you want to achieve, it's like having a superpower. You can plan your lessons with laser-like precision and tailor your instruction to meet the specific needs of each group. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ellen, setting objectives sounds about as exciting as watching paint dry. But trust me, it doesn't have to be boring. Get creative. Use colorful charts, fun games, or even let your students come up with some of the objectives themselves. The key is to make it meaningful and relevant to their learning. Remember, clear objectives are the foundation of successful small group instruction. They're like the sturdy legs of a table that hold everything up. So let's build some amazing tables together, one objective at a time. When you involve your students in the goal-setting process, it not only makes them feel valued, but also gives them a sense of ownership over their learning journey. This can be particularly effective in keeping them motivated and engaged. Think of it as giving them the steering wheel for a bit, letting them navigate their own learning path. Regularly reviewing and reflecting on these objectives with your students can also be a game changer. It helps them see their progress and understand the areas where they need to improve. Celebrate the small wins along the way. Recognizing and rewarding progress, no matter how minor, can boost their confidence and encourage them to keep pushing forward. Incorporate technology to make the process even more dynamic. Use apps and online tools to set, track, and review goals. This can make the whole experience more interactive and fun for your students. Collaboration is key. Encourage your students to work together towards common objectives. This not only fosters a sense of community, but also helps them learn from each other. At the end of the day, remember that setting crystal clear goals is not just about ticking boxes. It's about creating a roadmap for success that guides both you and your students towards meaningful and impactful learning experiences. So let's get out there and set some crystal clear goals. Together, we can make every learning journey an adventure worth taking. All right, let's talk about something super important: differentiated instruction. Now, I know that sounds like a fancy term you'd hear in a graduate-level education class, but stick with me. It's actually pretty simple. Differentiated instruction is all about tailoring your teaching methods to meet the diverse needs of your students. Imagine you're baking a cake for a group of friends, but some are allergic to nuts, some prefer chocolate, and some are gluten-free. Would you just make one cake and hope everyone likes it? Of course not. You'd end up with a lot of disappointed friends. You'd adjust the recipe to meet everyone's needs, right? Maybe you'd make a nut-free cake, a chocolate cake, and a gluten-free cake. Well, differentiated instruction is kind of like that. It's about making those small adjustments in your teaching to cater to the varied needs of your students. It's all about recognizing that every student learns differently and then adjusting your teaching to meet those individual needs. Some students might need more visual aids, while others might benefit from hands-on activities. Some students might learn best through hands-on activities, where they can touch and manipulate objects to understand concepts better, while others might thrive with visual aids or auditory learning. Maybe they need to see a video or listen to a podcast to grasp the material. The key is to provide a variety of learning experiences that cater to different learning styles. This way, you're not just teaching to one type of learner, but reaching everyone in your classroom. Think of it like a buffet of knowledge. Just like a buffet offers a variety of dishes to satisfy different tastes, your teaching should offer a variety of learning experiences. You want to offer a little something for everyone. This could mean providing different types of reading materials, offering various activities, or using technology to support learning. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ellen, I can barely keep up with my lesson plans as it is. How am I supposed to differentiate for every single student? And you know what? You're right. It can seem overwhelming at first, but you don't have to go crazy and create a completely different lesson for each student. Start small. Maybe begin by offering a choice of activities or providing differentiated reading materials. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Small changes can make a big difference. For example, you could start by grouping students based on their learning preferences and providing different tasks for each group. Maybe offer a choice of activities, provide differentiated reading materials, or use flexible grouping strategies. This way, students can work at their own pace and in a way that suits them best. Or use flexible grouping strategies. Grouping students by their strengths and needs can help them learn from each other and make the learning process more dynamic. The important thing is to be mindful of your students' needs and find ways to make learning accessible and engaging for everyone. This might mean using different teaching tools, varying your instructional methods, or simply being more aware of how each student learns best. Remember, just like every snowflake is unique, so is every student. Each one has their own way of learning and their own set of strengths and challenges. Embrace those differences and watch your small groups soar. When you take the time to understand and cater to each student's needs, you'll see them thrive and succeed in ways you never imagined. Okay, so you've got your clear objectives, you're differentiating like a pro, but how do you know if your students are actually learning? How can you be sure that the concepts you're teaching are being understood and retained by your students? That's where formative assessments come in. These are essential tools in your teaching toolkit. Now, before you run for the hills thinking about standardized tests and pop quizzes, hold on a second. Formative assessments are much more flexible and less intimidating. Formative assessments are not about assigning grades or stressing out your students. Instead, they are about gathering valuable information on student learning. They're simply a way to check for understanding along the way. This helps you identify who is grasping the material and who might need a bit more help. Think of them like little pit stops on your road trip to learning. Just as you wouldn't drive for hours without checking your car, you shouldn't teach without checking in on your students. They help you see if everyone is on the right track or if anyone needs a little extra support. This way, you can provide timely interventions and support. The best part about formative assessments is that they can be super informal and even fun. You can get creative with how you implement them. You can use exit tickets, quick writes, thumbs up, thumbs down, or even just have a quick conversation with your students. These methods are quick and easy to implement. The key is to make it a regular part of your small group routine. Consistency is crucial for getting accurate and useful data. Just like you wouldn't drive your car for hours without checking the gas gauge, you don't want to go through an entire lesson without checking in with your students. Regular check-ins help you stay on course. Formative assessments help you make adjustments to your instruction in real time and ensure that no one gets left behind. This real-time feedback is invaluable. Plus, when students get regular feedback, they feel more engaged and motivated to learn. They understand that their progress is being monitored and valued. It's a win-win for everyone. Both teachers and students benefit from the continuous feedback loop, leading to a more effective and enjoyable learning experience. Let's be honest, nobody likes to be told what to do all the time, right? Even as adults, we crave a little autonomy in our lives. And guess what? Students are no different. When we give students choices in their learning, it's like magic happens. They become more engaged, motivated, and invested in their own success. Now, I'm not saying you have to let them choose the curriculum or anything like that, but even small choices can make a big difference. For example, let them choose how they want to demonstrate their learning. Maybe they want to create a poster, write a song, or even act out a scene. The possibilities are endless. Another great way to incorporate student choice is through learning centers or stations. Set up different activities related to your lesson and let students choose which ones they want to complete. This allows them to work at their own pace and focus on the areas where they need the most practice. Remember, when students feel like they have a say in their learning, they're more likely to take ownership of it. So let's empower our students and give them the gift of choice. Last but not least, let's talk about the importance of regular feedback. Now, when I say feedback, I don't just mean pointing out what students did wrong. It's about providing specific, timely, and actionable feedback that helps them grow and improve. Think of it like coaching a sports team. You wouldn't just tell your players they need to play better, right? You'd give them specific tips and strategies to improve their game. The same goes for feedback in the classroom. Instead of just saying good job or try again, be specific. Tell them what they did well and what they can work on. For example, instead of saying I like your writing, you could say, I love how you use descriptive language to paint a picture in my mind. See the difference? It's all about being specific and giving students something tangible to work with. And don't forget about the importance of self-reflection. Encourage your students to reflect on their own learning and set goals for improvement. You can even have them keep a learning journal where they can track their progress and celebrate their successes. Remember, feedback is a gift. It's an opportunity for growth, improvement, and a little bit of celebration along the way. Well, that's it for today's show. Or should I say, today's crash course in small group instruction. I hope you learned some valuable tips and tricks to make your teaching life a little bit easier and a whole lot more fun. Now, I'm curious, which of these strategies are you most excited to try out in your own classroom? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Start small, experiment, and find what works best for you and your students. Because at the end of the day, the most important thing is to create a positive and supportive learning environment where every student feels valued, challenged, and inspired to reach their full potential. Now go out there and be the amazing small group superstar I know you are.